It's a video game debate that's raged on for years and will continue as we enter the next generation of consoles. Which is better, the PS5, the Xbox 2, or the Switch? Well, we have your answers, and don't laugh the Switch off just yet because we have some crazy Nintendo info that could blow the other two out of the water. So let's all stop the debates and get some definitive answers on which console rules them all. Learn how 2020 will change gaming forever and the features that you must try. The future. Mark your calendars, 2020 is going to be an incredible year for gamers. Both Sony and Microsoft have announced the holiday 2020 releases of the PS5 and Xbox 2, with major upgrades over their current-gen counterparts. You may want to toss a 4K TV onto your holiday list too, because both consoles will feature 4K Ultra HD gaming and up to 60 frames per second for some of the smoothest moments ever seen in home gaming consoles. Sony's even teased 8K compatibility for the PS5, but that would be a long way away. Both consoles will take huge steps in the advancement of graphics, stealing a page from motion picture CG effects by implementing ray tracing lighting techniques for some of the richest depth ever found in video games. And even though Nintendo just released the Switch Lite, don't expect them to sit out on the 2020 holiday season. Thanks to some rumors and patent filings, Nintendo could be releasing a Switch upgrade to help compete in the console wars. One of those patents featured a whole new joystick design, including a hinged part so the analog stick would be more comfortable when holding the Joy-Con separate from the console. A Switch Pro could help keep the same library of games and expand upgrade options much like the PS5 and Xbox 2. A Switch with 4K support would certainly help compete with the new consoles as well. Prices. Good old Santa Claus and our parents can only afford so many video games, so getting a budget ready will go a long way to ensure you can afford the console you want. While Microsoft and Sony have not released any pricing details as of yet, you can follow past trends to get a good indication. To help capture a large market share of gamers, the PS5 will likely debut with a $399 price point. The Xbox 2 could try to compete by going with a $399 price point as well, but they had no worries launching the Xbox One at $499. The double amount of sales the PS4 had may influence their pricing decision though. Nintendo just went cheaper with the Switch Lite priced at $199, so their consoles will always have a big focus on affordability. But a Switch Pro release could easily get away with a $399 or $349 price point to help drive some of the Sony and Microsoft sales away. Base prices aside, it's all the extras that really tack on big costs. Nintendo Joy-Cons cost a ton, averaging $70. The DualShock 4 currently averages a little less than $60 in price, and the next version of the controller will likely be more of the same. The biggest expense will probably be the Xbox 2 Elite Pro controller. The current version now is priced a little less than $180. More affordable versions are released by Microsoft as well. Controllers. We know the prices of the controllers, but what kinds of features will the new PS5 and Xbox 2 controllers have? Let's compare them, but first let's take a look at the Switch's arsenal. The Joy-Con may be one of the best controllers Nintendo has made in years. The multi-function use of the controllers, interactive motion controls, and easy connections really make them stand out. On top of that, Nintendo allows gamers to use a Pro controller for a more traditional experience. And speaking of tradition, Sony continues to use the DualShock line of controllers, with the DualShock 5 being packaged with the PS5. The controller is going through a pretty big overhaul, although the grip and shape of the controller is expected to remain the same. The big difference comes with the analog stick and trigger movements. As game graphics get more realistic, so do the way we feel feedback and movement with an analog stick. If your character's walking through mud, the movements will feel very different to other terrain like sand on a beach or a sturdy sidewalk. Thanks to the Xbox Elite Pro controller, Microsoft doesn't need to do many upgrades on their controller. The customizable options, comfort, and input options really makes the controller stand out and will likely be a part of the Xbox 2 launch. Online content. A shift in gaming has created a world of multiplayer games dominating the way many players play, but how exactly can you connect online? Well, with the launch of the PS5 and Xbox One, expect to see more of the same when it comes to the PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold subscriptions. Socially, the online modes will feature more ways to socialize, and the PS5 will include the ability to drop into a multiplayer game at any time. You can see exactly where another player is in a game and do not need to wait for the lobby to open up before you can join them. Nintendo aims for a more affordable multiplayer experience with the Nintendo Online service. At only $20 for a whole year, the service is affordable and even supports cross-platform play in games like Fortnite and Minecraft. The cost of Nintendo's online service is cheap, but the massive amount of players on PlayStation Plus makes it the ideal online gaming option. Exclusive games. Even if all three consoles have the same specs and controllers, there's one element that keeps gamers loyal: exclusive games. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo rely on their signature characters to drive sales and build a foundation with each console release. So if Nintendo decides to release a Switch Pro console, there's two games you could expect to see: Super Mario Odyssey 2 and Mario Kart 9. Both franchises have gone strong on the Switch, and sequels are inevitable, especially with the strong response to the new gameplay elements in Odyssey. Meanwhile, Microsoft is already building hype for the huge return to the Halo franchise with Halo Infinite. The first-person shooter series will look and play like never before, offering a refreshing take on a series many considered a little dated. Over at Sony, they would love to capitalize on the top-selling Spider-Man game with a sequel. There's also the Gran Turismo and Uncharted franchises, which will help lead the way with serious gamers. Still though, it's hard to keep Mario down. He will always remain one of the most popular video game characters of all time. The handheld market. Right now, between the three consoles, it seems like Nintendo is blowing away the competition when it comes to handheld gaming. While the PS Vita is all but irrelevant, Sony has some other plans to try to beat the Switch Lite from pure handheld dominance. The way they're doing it? With the new PS Now app. Through the PS Now game streaming service, players can access a whole library of PlayStation games on a phone, tablet, PC, or the upcoming PS5. The cloud-based games include a backlog of PlayStation games, along with current and popular titles. Sony also filed a patent back in 2015 that could be a direct competitor to the Nintendo Switch Lite. The patent drawings look very similar to the Switch, except the Joy-Con designs are replaced with what seems like a split DualShock controller. For the so-so success of the PS Vita, Sony may be a little hesitant to pull the trigger on a fully wireless console with more focus on the cloud-based gaming instead. And speaking of patents, the Xbox also filed one for some type of interactive stylus. The patent itself is a little vague in details, but the stylus may be used for both the Xbox 2 and some type of handheld interaction with the console through cell phones. Mobile apps. Besides the PS Now game streaming app, each of the big three consoles like to keep gamers connected at all times through their apps. But what exactly do they have to offer? Well, the Switch app launched with the debut of the console and was pretty much a big mess. The app was originally the only way to use voice communication, and the clunky design made it a pain to use while you played. Meanwhile, the whole Microsoft connection with the Xbox has made the Xbox app a must-have for anyone who owns an Xbox. With the app, players can purchase games on the go, and the game will automatically download to the console. By the time you get home, boom, the game's ready to go. The PlayStation app is similar, with the ability to see what games friends are playing, access to all types of gaming news, and the full PlayStation Store. As the new consoles get ready to debut, look for even more features and ways to connect with your new consoles. Retro gaming. Even though we all love the new games that come with the next generation of consoles, we also cannot get enough of retro gaming and all the things these consoles have to offer. Thanks to the rich history, nothing gets more retro than the Nintendo Switch. The current Switch offers a large library of NES and SNES games through Nintendo Online Service. A Switch Pro could blow retro gaming out of the water if they were able to offer N64 and GameCube game downloads. Those consoles have not been given enough of the retro treatment, and Nintendo could make huge waves with the introduction of these digital retro games. The Xbox 2 isn't far behind with their retro offerings either. Microsoft has already announced the console will be compatible with every past game, from the first Xbox all the way up to Xbox One. With the game disc inserted, the full game will be downloaded to the console. The PS5 will have backwards compatibility, but it's all a little limited when it comes to putting in your old discs. Only PlayStation 4 discs will work in the PS5. Everything else must be purchased digitally. There's still a massive library available, it's just a little defeating that the other discs can't be used to claim your game ownership on the new device. Solid-state drives. The one thing missing from all the next-generation consoles? Loading times. The reason? The Xbox 2 and PS5 will be equipped with solid-state hard drives. The huge upgrade over traditional hard disk drives will virtually eliminate loading times and get you to your game faster. The Switch is too small to host a solid-state drive and relies on NAND flash memory instead. A Switch Pro would most likely stick to the same memory, but probably increase the space to 64 GB instead of just the 32 GB. Either way, the Switch's flash memory will never compare to a solid-state drive. The performance and options with the drives will wow players instantly. The PS5 and Xbox One owners will no longer have to download a whole game just to play it. Levels can be downloaded separately, or you could choose to just download a specific portion of the game like the multiplayer mode. This is a huge space saver and something that will make game management a lot easier for gamers. There's no word yet on the full solid-state hard drive sizes, but they will be at least 100 gigabytes, with some higher-end models with a lot of extra space. Other forms of media. While the PS5 and Xbox 2 could have easily gotten rid of their disk drives, they choose to keep them for more than just playing old games. The Blu-ray drives are able to play high-quality 4K HD movies and offer a lot of entertainment options. Besides the discs, various channels offer access to streaming options like Netflix and Disney+. Sony just announced that they are ending the PlayStation Vue service, so the cable streaming app will be no more by the time the PS5 rolls around. But there are still plenty of other capable streaming app options. The Xbox 2 will likely have more exclusive NFL content, keeping football fans pretty happy. The Switch is still rocking amiibo interactions, and it's fun to create a Mii, but the whole system focuses more on gaming than other video streaming options. A Switch Pro could expand this, with possible options for 4K quality streaming through various video platforms. When you're not playing games on the Xbox 2, you can watch all kinds of other gamers through the Microsoft Mixer app. Mixer includes a lot more than just Xbox gamers, including the popular streamer Ninja and plenty of other PC action. With the loss of the PlayStation Vue, Microsoft is starting to get an edge over Sony with their Mixer platform and other connections like the NFL. Wow, there's so much to look forward to in 2020. So what are your thoughts? Which console will reign supreme? And do you think Nintendo should release a Switch Pro? Well, let us know in the comments, and stick around The Gamer for more great video game content. We're releasing new videos every couple of days. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the channel.